Testing, testing. All right, let's do it. Okay, let's continue. This is part five, and in this part, we're gonna include the text. We're gonna copy text down and put text on layers, and we're gonna give text certain sizes and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay, we this is where your model should be. You should have all of your walls, your fireplaces, and everything in. Um, so let's go ahead and type in lay thaw. Okay, when you type in lay thaw, everything that we froze in the last one should pop up. Okay, and if it's not as it should be, if it's not like I'm showing here, because we froze all of the text, we froze all of the dimensions. Okay, and the reason why I froze it because I wanted to copy it down. Uh, so if you don't have access to that, go ahead and bring the PDF back in, and let's go ahead and just uh, bring it down close to your model. Okay, and once you bring it down close to your model, you can go ahead and start to copy some of the text. Hold on, let me fix this.
Now, let's go ahead and place some text. Okay. And the reason I put this big red box around my drawing is because sometimes you can zoom way out and you just can't see it. So, if you look for the big red box, you know that's where the drawing is. Because AutoCAD has basically unlimited space. You can design whole drawings with it, right? But let's go ahead and place some text in there. First thing I want to do is want to go to
the e-text layer. And I didn't like the color of the layer, but I'm thinking let's just leave it as is. I was going to change it to the blue magenta color, but let's go ahead and just leave it as is. As add color number 11, index color number 11. Let's go ahead and just leave it at that for right now. And you can click OK and just get out of it, and then you can close that menu down. Okay, so you want to just type in the word text and draw a line. And you'll see you'll get this really big text marker, okay? And let's go ahead and type the word kitchen. Or undo it and make sure it's in all caps. KITCHEN. Okay, because I want to show you guys how to modify text. Now, clearly, that's way too big to actually place in our model. So let's go ahead and modify it. Once you select it, see over here in the properties menu where it says height, you can change the height, okay? And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start with a foot. And you see how small it got? Okay, now it's actually legible enough to actually put in our model. And let's see how it looks in there. I think it might still be a little bit too big. So let's go ahead and select it and make it a little bit smaller than a foot. So let's change the height to, let's just say 0 feet, 1/2 inch. Let's zoom in, and that's just a little bit too small, right? So select it again. And let's change the height again. I'm thinking this time we're gonna make it something like, I don't know, something a little bit bigger, maybe 6 inches or so. It just depends. These things typically when you go to work for someone, all of these things will be set up, and you probably would never have to actually create these and actually put them in your drawing. They will have text already set up for you to copy in, and they will have standards and settings as regards to text heights and the text size. But it's good to know a little bit something about it. Okay, let's go ahead and change this height to let's see, what do you want it to be? Let's try 1 inch. Nope, still not big enough. So let's go ahead and try something different. Let's try 3 inches. See how it got a little bit bigger? I think it still needs to be a little bit bigger. 5 inches. And that looks close, but maybe we should go to 6 inches. Oh, let's do 7. Okay. Now, that's proper. Okay, that's what your text should look like. But keep in mind, if you guys would ever go to work for someone, they'll have all of these things set up in their standards. You'll never have to create text. And, you know, some firms, it depends on that firm. Most firms I've been in, they have already have things like this set up and ready for you to go. They have standards. They'll say, okay, this is the text size for this size drawing, all right? And we'll talk about the scale of the drawing once we get ready to actually place them on a sheet, okay? So right now, these are all of the room headings. Let's go ahead and place one in every room. In the same place where they have them shown on the PDF document, we want to go ahead and place one. And you can just copy that kitchen text around, and then we'll go ahead and we'll modify that text to read, you know, what the room should be. So let's go ahead and copy this guy up as well, CO, and then select the actual text itself. Place it in the room. Let's go ahead and place one right over here. Place one in this room. This is the utility room. Then we're going to place one over here. Okay. So now let's go ahead and let's go back and change them based on what's shown on the PDF document. We know that the kitchen is the same. We're not going to change that one. We're just going to move it down a little bit. You know, for clarity reasons, just move it down just a little bit. And hit escape, get out of it. And what we're doing now is we copied it down, and we are going to put the room sizes in. So let's copy that down, okay? And you should have a big kitchen and a small kitchen. And the smaller one, what you want to do is just move it up close up under the heading of the room. And now we're going to actually type in the room size that we are showing on the PDF document, okay? So let's type it in. And what you do is, you just put it on a different color. See the properties menu, okay? So even though it's, you know, it's on the e-text layer, and let's create a new layer. It's called e-text. I think we should just change the color. But if we're going to create a new layer, let's create a new layer called e-text. And maybe -2 or something like that. Yeah. And let's go ahead and change the color. Okay, let's give it an index color number 4. Alright, now after you give it index color number 4, you have to go ahead and change it to that layer. Okay, and once you change it to that layer, now you can go ahead and double click it, and you can actually go ahead and put the room size in. So double click. And that room size is 12'9" by 15 foot dash 4 inches. And double click off it, there you have the room size. Now you want to copy the room size around and place the room size under the room heading in each room, because each room is going to have its respective room size, except for the entry. The entry, we're not going to put a size there. So type in CO for copy. We just want to place one under each room heading. Then we'll go back and we'll, you know, type over them and put their respective room sizes in. Yes. So now let's go ahead and change the room names first. And this is the garage, and make sure they're in all caps, okay? Click off of it. And And now let's go ahead and put the garage room size in. So you double click here. And once it's highlighted, you can change everything. So that one is going to be 22 foot dash 5 inches by 23 foot dash 4 inches. And you want to do that around the board, okay? In this area right here, we're not showing the size, so let's go ahead and delete this one out. But let's go ahead and rename it first. And this is the entry. And just take that one out and delete it. And let's go into this is the living room, so double click off of it. Now let's go ahead and put the original size in. It's a 12 foot 11 by 15 foot. Let's go up to this room. I think this is the family room, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And just double click off of it. Let's go ahead and change the room size. $17 by and once we get these in, once we get our model finalized, when we start adding interior dimensions, a lot of these are going to update, especially because of the fact that we went with 6-inch walls instead of 4-inch walls. Okay. So right now, let's just type it in as it is due to time constraints. So this is a dining room. Let's go ahead and type in 17 foot dash 4 inches by 11 foot dash 5 inches. And do the same thing. You want to do the same thing in this area. This is the utility room. And so forth. And that's how your room tags should be laid out in your floor plan. You should have a tag for each room, okay? Now I would say let's go ahead and add all of the rest of the dimensions. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to create some dimensions, but for right now, let's just leave the dimensions as they are, because what's happening is the dimensions that are in our drawings, they are not up to standard, okay? But for right now, just for learning and training purposes, they are great. We'll give you guys, updated dimension styles as soon as we get the first and second floor plan complete. Okay, and this was where I was actually going in trying to, customize that floor plan or customize that dimension on that floor plan. However, there is a standard that has to be imported in. So I just decided to leave them as they are for right now, and then we will import that standard at a later date.
Okay, so let's go ahead and, since we have all of the windows and doors in, let's go ahead and add all of the dimensions, okay? And what you want to do is you want to click a line, and let's click on the corner here so we can add the dimensions.
So you just want to add
on
the
this
dimensions. And right
side,
here, you want to change the orientation
on
of
the
the
east
dimension.
side,
So you want to scroll down.
and
Once you select dimension, you want to scroll down on the properties menu. Okay, and see where it says
text.
text.
Hit MA to match properties. To match
You want
this
to
guy.
change the text horizontal and
Actually,
vertical positions. So change the text view from left to right to left. And then you want it to be above, so you go and change the text position, the text vertical position to above. And that's how you want it to be situated, okay? Because that's the correct way. And you want to go ahead and add the rest of your dimensions, but keep in mind you have to draw, you're going to have to draw a line at the center of each window and a line at the center of each door, so you can have something to snap to when you're actually drawing your dimensions, okay? Because right now, with this dimension style that we have, it's not allowing us to actually snap while we are actually drawing. You have to draw these lines in advance before you actually create the dimension. If that makes sense. And just match the property of the one that we have already drawn. That way you don't have to go and change each and every last one of them on the properties menu. So you do MA for match prop. You select the one that you want to the other dimensions to be like, and then you select the dimensions that you want to change. And what we'll do is, go ahead and you add the dimensions all the way around the building like this, okay? So I'm just going to actually let the video run because I am doing a voiceover while I add the rest of the dimensions. There's nothing changing there. Just like we just added those others, we're going to add the dimensions on the west side and the south side as well. Right here, I was going to actually dimension it differently, but I decided to leave it as is. So let's go ahead and make sure we're on the dimension layer. That way the dimensions can come out properly. And you want to click the Align Dimension button. So you have your overall. Let's go ahead and use the ones at the top to match the properties. And if that doesn't work, sometimes you have to go ahead and manually change them yourself. So you go to select the dimension and you go to the text palette on the properties menu. And you're going to change the text vertical position to above. Okay. And select it again. And on the text menu, you are going to change the text view dimension from left to right to left. Pretty good. How about you? And we're going to add another dimension on this side. And we're going to place it here, 6 and 7.5. And then we're going to go and take an overall dimension. So you can click here. And then we have our dimensions on the west side of the building. Now let's go ahead and add the swing of dimensions on the south side. And you do it the same way that we just put the other dimensions in. And these you can actually match the properties for the top dimensions. Then you'll just drop them in just like that. And right now we're drawing a center line for our window so we can have something to dimension to. And we're drawing a center line for our door so we can have something to dimension to. It's just easier to draw a line across the bottom of the door and have your center line right there because sometimes it's hard to snap or snap, appear as if it's snapping to the center of the door, but it's not. Excuse me, guys, my sinus is so I can. So place a center line on the garage overhead doors, and now you want to click the Align Dimension tool. Let's go ahead and drop some dimensions. So you start at the bottom of your, let's just say your reference line, and you drag it up, and you snap it to one that's already there, and you just repeat. Everything right now with the floor plans is just repetitions, right? Now let's put an overall dimension. Hit the Align Dimension button. Right now we're adding the overall dimension on the south side. And that's how your floor plan should look at this point. What we're doing now is we're going to go ahead and create the text, and I'm just going to do one example. I want you guys to copy all of the text from the PDF into the drawing. So this is what we're doing now. We're drawing a leader. So what you would do is type in LE and hit the space bar, okay? And what you want to do is you want to select the line and go to the properties menu. And on the properties menu, see where it says lines and arrows? You want to make sure that you have selected closed field. Okay, and let's go ahead and change that arrow size. We're going to change it to not 100. That's going to be huge if you change it to 100. Let's select it again and go back to that arrow size on the properties menu. We put 100, it's too big, okay? So select it and highlight it. Okay, so that's how you should draw it in. Okay, and I think we put it in at what? 7 inches. Okay, we put the arrow size in at 7 inches. Let's change it to 5, make it a little bit smaller. So you type in LE, you draw your line, and then you go in and you change the arrowhead size to 5 inches. Then you take this guy, double click it like we did everything else, and you will just copy the text that's already shown on the PDF document. So I'm not going to go in and put all the text in. This is something that's pretty repetitious. So I do expect you to actually just look at what's on the PDF and put the same text into your floor plan. Okay? So as you can see, I want all of this stuff. I want the post in. So see where it says see foundation plan for fireplace location? That's what I want you to put in your plan. So let's copy this one down, okay? Show you guys a quick and simple way to do it. And then move it over, okay? Text is a little bit big, right? Let's move it a little bit closer. And then we can select the text, and over in the properties menu, okay, see where it says text height? Let's change that to 4 inches. And the reason why I like this text is because it will give you a text box. Let's go ahead and change it to 3 inches. It's a little bit big. Change it to 3 inches. And the reason why I deleted the other one and brought this one down and copied it is because I want to utilize it, because you can actually do a text box. With a text box, you can actually click in it, and when you hit the return key, you can start typing the line up underneath it. Whereas if it's just a multi-line text, you'd have to copy everything. So change it again to 3. I think it was a little bit big. Let's go ahead and move it over. And then I'll show you how the text box actually works, okay? So you're gonna double click it. And put your cursor all the way to the end and hit return. And now you can type the rest of the text up under it. Fireplace location. So the text box, you can stretch it out, you can make it thin, okay? And then really all you have to do at that point is, make sure it's on the proper layer, okay? PDF text is not the proper layer. So we want to make sure we put it on the text layer, and that's e-text too, okay? So I want you to go ahead and put all your text in and all your leader lines just like I've done here, all right? So we'll leave that portion up to you. Also, there are some interior doors that I'm going to leave up to you guys to put in as well. I just want you guys to look at the PDF document and make sure you're copying things over, all right? I've already shown you how to put the doors in, so now it's up to you to get all of the doors in on the interior spaces. So at this juncture, I will go ahead and end the voiceover. Right now, I'm just putting the opening in there, just like we've done several times before, okay? So I'll leave it up to you guys to actually put all your openings in and put all your doors in on the interior spaces, okay? And also drop in some interior dimensions as well. And what I want you to do is just mimic what's shown in the PDF document.